I don't want to destroy our family. I never have.
You killed our father.
After he sentenced me to death...
He deserved it.
I didn't commit. Yes, I killed him.
You may not have killed Joffrey, but you killed Marcella, you killed Tommen. No one would have touched them if father was here. No one would have dared.
I've never been more sorry about anything.
He killed Tywin. That's it.
I'll not hear it.
I will always be a threat. So put an end to me. Do it! Say the word.
Yo, he's brave as fuck. Khaleesi will kill them all, though.
What did you hope for? To make Jon Snow submit to your queen?
Not like this.
But eventually you want everyone to bend the knee to her?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think she will make the world a better place.
You said she'd destroy King's Landing.
She has to do that first.
Maybe Euron Greyjoy had the right idea. Get on a boat. Take those who matter.
You're pregnant.
Hopefully it's more like a Tommen and not another Joffrey. The world doesn't need another one of those.
My armies will not stand down. I will march them north to fight alongside you in the Great War.
He did it.
Darkness is coming for us all.
He got through to her.
And when the Great War is over, perhaps you'll remember I chose to help. With no promises or assurances from any of you. I expect not.
This is big for Cersei. Honestly, I thought she was going to be stubborn till the end. Start another war when they should be fighting the Night King.
Sometimes, when I try to understand a person's motives, I play a little game.
He loves his games,
What's the
eh?
worst reason they could possibly have for saying what they say and doing what they do. So tell me, what's the worst thing she could want?
She could want me dead because she thinks I wronged my family.
Why did she come to Winterfell?
Come
Kill
home.
me
What?
for marrying our enemies and betraying my family.
And after she murders you, what does she become?
Lady of Winterfell.
Come on, Sansa. Don't buy into this. I'm not liking this plot here.
The Dothraki ride hard on the King's Road. They'll arrive at Winterfell within the fortnight. It's your decision, Your Grace. But if we're going to be allies in this war, it's important for the Northerners to see us as allies.
I've not come to conquer the North. I'm coming to save the North. We sail together.
Okay. They sail together. Jorah the Jealous looks on.
What you said. You could have lied to Cersei.
Grew up with the Starks, you know them.
You risked everything to tell an enemy the truth.
We went down there to make peace. And it seems to me we need to be honest with each other if we're going to fight together.
You've always known what was right.
I've done plenty of things that I regret.
Not compared to me, you haven't.
No,
That's for sure.
not compared to you. Our father was more of a father to you than yours ever was.
He was.
And you betrayed him. It's not my place to forgive you for all of it. But what I can forgive, I do.
Wow. This just shows
Prisoner.
how good of a person Jon is.
Yara, she needs me now.
So why are you still talking to me?
There you go. That's what you need to hear. It sounds like permission. You're free to go. Save your sister, man.
Load up.
We're not leaving her behind.
Your sister's dead.
She's not dead.
She's dead. We're going to find her. We're going to set her free.
Ugh. I hate his people.
Run away, little Theon.
Kill him. Prove yourself. Are we just gonna see Theon get beat down right now? It did nothing. Wow. It would still hurt though, wouldn't it?
For Yara!
For Yara! I hope she comes to her senses soon.
Have my sister brought to the Great Hall.
No! Don't fall for Littlefinger's tricks, his ploys, his plots, and his schemes. Arya could murder them all if she wanted to, though. Just blows out the candles.
Are you sure you want to do this?
It's not what I want. It's what honor demands.
And what does honor demand?
that I defend my family from those who would harm us.
All right then, get on with it.
She's a G.
You stand accused of murder. You stand accused of treason. How do you answer these charges, Lord Baelish?
Wait, what? What is happening right now?
My sister asked you a question.
I'm a bit confused.
Which charges confuse you? You murdered our aunt, Lysa Arryn. You pushed her through the moon door and watched her fall. Do you deny it?
That was for you.
You did it to take power in the Vale. Earlier,
That too.
you conspired to murder Jon Arryn.
None of you knows the truth.
You held a knife to his throat.
He knows the truth.
You said, I did warn you not to trust me.
I remember that in front of the throne.
You told our mother this knife belonged to Tyrion Lannister, but that was another one of your lies. It was yours.
It's all coming back to bite him in the ass.
I've known you since you were a girl. I protected you.
Protected me by selling me to the Boltons.
If we could speak alone,
Nope.
I can explain everything.
Fuck that.
Sometimes when I'm trying to understand a person's motives, I play a little game. What's the worst reason you have for turning me against my sister?
I should have doubted you, Sansa.
Give me a chance to defend myself. I deserve that.
You are done, son.
Sansa, I beg you.
He's on his
I've loved your mother
knees.
since the time I was a boy.
And yet you betrayed her.
I loved you more than anyone.
Yet you sold her.
And yet you betrayed me. When you brought me back to Winterfell, you told me there's no justice in the world, not unless we make it. Thank you for all your many lessons, Lord Baelish. I will never forget them.
End of an era here. Arya. Oh! Yo. Deuces, little fucker.
What are you doing?
Preparing the expedition north.
Expedition North. I always knew you were the stupidest Lannister. You expect me to trust the man who...
Motherfucking
You
Cersei.
expect me to command our troops to fight beside foreign scum? To fight for the Dragon Queen? Our child will rule Westeros.
Our child will never be born if the dead come south.
Let the monsters kill each other.
I disagree.
And while they battle in the north, we take back the lands that belong to us.
And then what?
And then we rule. Do you really think Euron Greyjoy turned tail and sailed back to the Iron Islands? No one walks away from me.
Wow. I was played.
That's with Euron Greyjoy, without telling me the command of your armies.
And you conspired with Tyrion.
Craziness. Snowfall. Winter is here.
Come in. Samwell Tarly.
He already knows.
You remember me?
I remember everything. He needs to know the truth.
The truth about what?
About himself, the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, and my aunt Lyanna Stark.
At the Citadel, I transcribed the High Septon's diary. He annulled Rhaegar's marriage to Alia. Is this something you can see?
Robert's rebellion was built on a lie. Rhaegar didn't kidnap my aunt or rape her.
Looks exactly like Viserys. Wait, is he making a move? Is that Jorah the Jealous? No, Tyrion. Tyrion the Watcher. He likes to watch.
Jon's real name. He's never been a bastard. He's the heir to the Iron Throne.
You're all right.
The ladies of Winterfell.
Strange. In his own horrible way, I believe he loved me.
You did the right thing.
You did it.
I'm just the executioner. You pass the sentence. I never could have survived what you survived.
You would have. You're the strongest person I know.
I believe that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
That's why I like it.
And the snows fall and the white winds blow. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
A moment for Ned.
Miss him.
So do I. E3. This is actually a really nice moment here. We have peace and quiet in Winterfell. Sisters coming together. No more Littlefinger and Sansa's here. Yo, blue flames. This is the last thing they wanted to see. And he's riding it. They're completely wiping out the wall. It's all coming down. Oh my god. Season 7, folks. Alright. That was Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf. The season finale, the Season 7 finale, now in the books. What an incredible episode. It's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. It definitely didn't play out how I thought it was going to play out. There is obviously, as usual, a lot to discuss. I definitely want to go back to the start, though, with everybody coming together. There are so many different relationships, all these characters. I kind of said it a little bit with my introduction, and the reason why I'm really enjoying Season 7 so much is all these characters that we know and love, we truly care about. We've seen everything they've gone through to get to this point, and now to see them here joining forces. And then when they all came together for that meeting with Cersei, and then some of these characters are seeing each other for the first time, or for the first time in years, seasons, like the Hound in the Mountain. That kind of blew my mind right there. There's a lot that actually blew my mind from this episode, which is kind of crazy because there wasn't a lot of action until the very end of the episode. But what are some of the people that I really enjoyed seeing come together there with that scene? We had Pod and Tyrion, Bronn and Tyrion, everybody in Tyrion, Jaime and Tyrion, and then seeing Khaleesi and Cersei meet face to face for the first time. And of course, their introduction got off to a rough start with Cersei being like, "Bitch, you made me wait. I was waiting here." So, man, that whole scene, that was a long scene too. I was kind of joking, like, now I'm doing multiple parts for some of these episodes. That scene alone might require multiple parts or a single part alone, because that's how long that scene was. And that's how good that scene was. Obviously, it was dialogue heavy until they actually revealed that one Walker, which was a crazy moment in itself, because you see the look on Cersei's face when it actually was let out the box. And let's just back up a little bit, because first we see they're trying to negotiate a little bit. It's super awkward. Everybody's having their moment. Euron, and honestly, I almost forgot about this also. They completely pulled the rug out from underneath me. I completely bought in. They fooled me. I believed everything. Their little skit there that they were pulling, their little play with Euron and Cersei that they had planned, and apparently even Jaime didn't know about that, where Euron was like, well, I guess that took place right after. I don't know how they knew about that. Well, I guess they were told beforehand the whole point to the meeting. Because I was going to say, how did they plan for that until when that actually went down after it was revealed what was in the box? But what's in the box? What's in the box? But yeah, let's discuss that moment right there then. First, we see the Hound carrying the box on his back, and man, what a G. Muscles McGee over here. He drops it down in front of everyone, and at first I'm like, did it die? Of course it's not going to be alive, right when we need it to be alive. Because we saw at the start of the episode too, when he like kicked it in the boat ride over, he kicked it or whatever, tapped on the box to make sure it was still alive. And then it was like thrashing around like crazy. So we're like, okay, it's still alive. Doesn't need to be close to the Night King in order to stay alive or whatever. And then when it's actually revealed, I'm like, fuck. Of course, when we need the proof right now to prove to Cersei that these walkers actually exist and all this real shit is actually going on, and then doesn't even move. And that's when the Hound walked over yet again. He flipped the box and it just came running out, thrashing out, charging at Cersei. That was freaking crazy. And you see the fear. We don't see Cersei scared too often, and to see her in that moment, that scene, like she was taken back, and she actually looked like she was scared for her life. And I don't blame her, because I'd be scared for my life too if that thing came charging at me. So I don't blame her at all. But that was just such a crazy scene. And then right after, the Hound chops it in half. It's still moving, still thrashing about, still trying to move forward. They chop off one of the hands. And then, yeah, I think they finally believed him at that point that it is real, or they believe Khaleesi and all of them that, yes, these things do actually exist. And if we don't join forces to take them out right here, right now, then nobody's going to live. Like, there's going to be no more kingdoms to take over. What's the point of us fighting amongst each other? if they're just going to kill us all. And that just means if we kill each other right now, that means there's less of us to fight these fuckers over here. So, yeah, it looked like Cersei was finally on board until at the very end. I guess she asked for Jon Snow to bend the knee. And we already saw that he had bent the knee previously to Khaleesi, which was already hard enough for him to do. So, for Cersei to actually request that, and then he's like, in the moment, he could have lied. Even Tyrion was saying to him afterwards, he's like, hey, Jon Snow, what's up with the Starks never believing or never hearing of a lie before? Like, this is why you guys always fall for lies. You could have lied right then and there, just told her what she wanted to hear, and everything would have been good. There would have been a truce. But in the end, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Cersei would have lied. She's always lying. And 7 seasons in, I guess we're officially going to be 8 seasons into the show. And I still can't trust Cersei. Like, I honestly thought she was giving her word there. Wow, I feel like such a fool for believing Cersei yet again. It's so crazy. She pulled the rug out from underneath me yet again. Her freaking plan, like, even Jaime was kind of taken back too with that later scene. I guess we'll discuss that now, well, before I forget. But yeah, even he called her bluff, like, if this is the route you're going to go, like, then you're going to have to kill me right here, right now. And then she's like, okay. She gave the nod to the mountain. The mountain's like, pulls out the sword, and yeah, he called her bluff. So that's just how crazy Cersei is right now. And I thought for the moment, like, she already used Jaime, even though she loves him. We've seen throughout the entire series that she does. Now that she's pregnant, does she even need him anymore? Like, she's basically used him too for a new child. So, and I swear to God, if that child is actually born and she's not killed off before it is born, it's going to come out with the Antichrist. I can tell you right now, the Antichrist 2, Joffrey Part 2. But going back a little bit, when that walker was revealed and we saw the fear from everyone, it was taken out, killed off. We did say Euron also, and I was like, man, I bought into it too. Like, they played me. Both of them, they played me. Because he's like, all right, I'm just going to go back. All you guys should just walk home. Like, could they swim? No? Okay, I'm going back to my island then because that's where I'm going to be safest. And legit, I believed him in that moment right there. I'm like, I don't really blame him either. Like, but that's not the Euron we've come to know either. Like, we haven't known him for very long. But I was thinking, like, man, he's not really scared of much. And he even said to himself, like, I've traveled across the entire world. Nothing scares me until now, until this. I've seen this thing. So him walking off right there, I fell for it. I feel like such a fool falling for Cersei and Euron's trick. But I guess I wasn't the only one because, yeah, Jon Snow, he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to bend the knee. And then they walked off. Then they were kind of bitching at him a little bit. Khaleesi, like, she was like, I'm happy that you're willing to fucking bend the knee in front of everyone. Did you have to say it right then and there, though? Could you not have lied or maybe kept that under wraps, at least for now? But it all came back because either way, it doesn't really matter in the end. I know, like, everybody's upset. It is kind of funny that he's just, I was going to say he's a true Stark, but we saw this episode too. He's not a Stark. He's Aegon Targaryen, so my mind is freaking blown like the smithereens after this episode. And that's the crazy thing about this episode too, is it didn't feel like your typical season finale. Like, there wasn't some giant war until the end. Like, yeah, we saw the wall come crashing down. Goodbye, Night's Watch. But in Redbeard too. Fuck, I just learned his name too. Fuck. I don't know if he's fully dead though, because we didn't see his body afterwards, but it might be underneath all that rubble. But either way, wow, this episode, it was not your typical, like, balls to the wall blockbuster action film, which we've seen all season, which is kind of crazy because I kind of came to expect that going into this episode. I didn't know what was going to go down, but based on what we've seen up until this point, I was expecting a lot more action. And I'm not even mad that we didn't get a lot of action in this episode because that action at the end was good enough. And to be honest, we didn't even need that. Like, you could have started off season 8 with that because the dialogue was so good. Like, there were so many moments, like so many twists and turns and so many cool character moments also. And that leads me to the one scene, my favorite scene of the entire episode. I'm sure it might even be my favorite episode or my favorite scene, favorite moment of the entire season. And I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking this, but Littlefinger. I definitely want to talk about that because yet again, this show played me for a fool with Sansa and Arya. And I was going to say too, like, going into this recap, I was prepared to say, like, right before that scene actually went down, I was prepared to say, like, that's the one plot or the one story one character arc of the season that I'm really not enjoying, and that's the beef between sisters, the ladies of Winterfell, because yeah, like how they've been separated for so long. I don't want to come back to Winterfell, see them come back home and see them fighting. Like that's not what I'm here for, but they played me for a fool. This was a trick that I'm actually okay with though, because when it came down to it, and like we saw the scene earlier this episode where Littlefinger was all up in Sansa's ear, like trying to convince her that Arya's the enemy, he needs to take her out. Like why did Arya come home? Because she wants to be the only lady of Winterfell. Like I'm like, Sansa, are you actually believing this right now? Like Sansa is so smart. She's been through so much too. She's grown so much. I've given her praise this season alone on how wise she is now and how much I appreciate her wisdom and the growth of her character. And then just to see her fall for this trick, I know he's slick. He's a shyster, Littlefinger. She wouldn't be the only one to fall for his tricks. Like when they were naming everything that he's done at the end of the episode, or his final moment of the episode. And then when we finally got called into the hall, and then Sansa had requested for Arya, and then Arya walked in there, and I was kind of joking around too, like, let's just be crazy for a second here. Let's say Sansa actually sends Arya to death. Arya could have killed everybody in that room. I legit think that would have went down. If Sansa would have actually sentenced her to death, there's no way Arya would have just let that happen. I feel like she would have took on everybody, and I don't think, obviously there's a lot of soldiers in that room. None of them are as capable as Arya though. And the only thing that I'd be questioning is she'd be outnumbered, but I'd still put my money down on Arya. But yeah, thank God that did not actually happen. That did not take place. That did not occur, because this was the trick. She's like, I forget exactly how she said it. It was so good too, because she built it up so much with Sansa. She's like, I sense you, Littlefinger. Then she, at the last second, she just went over to him, and then she said, Lord Baelish. I forget what exactly was it. I sense you, Lord Baelish, and then that's when she caught everybody off guard, me off guard. I didn't even know how to react to that, because I was like, like, what is happening right now? And then Littlefinger was definitely taken off guard. He was taken back because he did not expect that one bit. He was just all happy too. You see him leaning against the wall like he's Fonzie over here. So happy with his plan playing out. He's watching it all play out, the chaos that he created. And then when Sansa turned to him and said that, yeah, his heart sank. Mine freaking went up. Like, I didn't know what was going down, but I knew it was a good thing. And then seeing her just list off everything that he's done up until this point, I don't need to name it. We've seen 7 seasons of the show now. That was freaking incredible. And then the final moments, or his final moments, where he's on his knees begging, like he's turning to everyone, like, let me just plead for my life. You, people of the Vale, bring me back home. They're like, no. Sansa, I've always loved your mother. Sansa, I've always loved you. Or Sansa's response to always loving her mother, but you betrayed her. But I've always loved you, but you betrayed me. And then Arya walking up, Sansa, yo, that was so freaking good. Best scene of the season. I don't know, maybe I'm just completely forgetting about the better ones we've seen this season already, but that just, for me, overtakes everything, because his death alone was like a build-up, like over the course of time. It was so good. It was almost perfect, because he was there in front of everyone. They listed off everything he's done. Well, maybe not everything he's done up until this point, but hearing a lot of the things that he has done, hearing them out in the open for everybody to hear, it was so sweet. For him, bittersweet, but man, such a good scene. I freaking loved it. And then we had Sam afterwards coming to Winterfell. Was that his first time there? I think so. His arrival there, and then meeting up with Bran right away. He went right to Bran pretty much. I can't wait to see him reunite with Jon Snow also, or should I say Aegon Targaryen. Man, so crazy. And I did bring that up earlier this episode too, because I still wasn't fully sure exactly his existence or how he came to be. So I was thinking though, like thinking back, and I'm pretty sure I said in this episode, like, aren't they related? Or I'm pretty sure they are. And then it was all came out in the open. That scene with Bran and Sam. Thank God Sam is still good too. But yeah, he made it to Winterfell. I was gonna say made it back to Winterfell, but made it to Winterfell. And then when everything came out in the open there, man, it's so crazy. The history of these characters, and like history almost being rewritten up until this point, because you think you know a true Hollywood story, but you have no idea. I'm telling you, like, everything you think about some characters, they pull a rug out from underneath you and they just completely switch things up. I can understand if some people would get mad at that because it's like, I forget what it's called, not revisionist history. When you go back and you redo some certain story arcs or some certain story beats, I forget what it's called. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. And the crazy thing is, as soon as I turn off this camera and I'm done recording, it's gonna hit me too. But either way, you guys know what I'm talking about when it's sort of like revisionist history. But when you go back and you change stories or some character's history. But yeah, seeing them come together at the very end also. Jon Snow, I'm still gonna call him that. I'm sure most people will, but Jon Snow and then Khaleesi at the end of the episode, them coming together officially in bed, and that scene too was kind of cool. Like, it was kind of sweet. Like, when she opened, he knocked on her door, she opened it up, no words need to be said, he just walked on in there. And then while that was happening, they were also saying the history. But I kind of feel, I gotta be honest, I kind of feel like a hypocrite here because yeah, I've never been on board with Cersei and Jaime, and because of that, how am I on board for Jon Snow and Khaleesi? It's like, if you're on board with one, you have to be on board with the other. Or maybe if you're on board with Jon Snow and Khaleesi, then you have to be on board with the other. I can understand not being on board with Cersei and Jaime, but I feel like such a hypocrite up until this point because I've been fighting the incest. This show might have won me over when it comes to incest. So there you go, Game of Thrones. I still need a little bit more time to think about that and how exactly I feel about that. I did like the one scene before that though too with Khaleesi and Jon Snow. And it was kind of building up to that moment when he went up to her door when they're kind of just meeting one-on-one, and then the camera was zooming in there and it just focused on just the two of them super close. I did like what he was saying, like when she's like, I can't even have children, I can't even have any children anymore. And then he's like, who told you that? She's like, the witch that killed my husband. And then he's like, yeah, maybe those aren't the best or most reliable of sources. So I did like that moment where he's kind of comforting her. I feel like she kind of needed that too. And I was also saying that scene, man, she's like breathtakingly, like distractingly beautiful, like gorgeous. Obviously, like, it's no secret. The secret's out. She's hot. But no, just seeing her in that moment, like, she's so beautiful. And yeah, I really enjoyed that moment. But I was definitely seeing, like, I was so zooming in so much, like so focused in on her character as the camera was zooming in, panning in. I almost forgot about that they were actually speaking, that there was dialogue happening. Thankfully, I was fighting myself, like, Justice, don't just give in to the urges of Khaleesi and her looks. You gotta listen to what they're actually saying. So yeah, I did hear what they were actually saying, and it was a beautiful scene there. But yeah, a lot went down this episode. Obviously, I already discussed what went down at the end of the episode, also with the wall coming down. I guess everyone there is dead. I don't want to believe it, but how else could it have gone down? Because everyone's got to be underneath the rubble. There's no way they made it out alive. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise me in the final season with Redbeard still being out there. We never saw his actual body. That's the only reason. We saw him scrambling, but how do you get away from that? The dragon, and just the appearance of the dragon alone, I wasn't sure if they were going to be saving that for the final season also. They saved it for the final moments of the season, and it will definitely be coming back for the final season. We even saw the Night King riding it. What the hell? He adapted pretty quick. He saw Khaleesi, and he's like, oh, I could do that. Hold my beer. So, yeah, what a crazy sight. This show is freaking nuts. I don't even know what to expect for the final season aside from the battle. Winter is here. We saw the snow falling with Jaime, the snowflakes. 7 seasons building. Winter is here. And I feel like I've said winter is here numerous times over previous seasons too, but they were all false occurrences because it is officially here now. There's no more doubting it. We have made it to the final season, folks. Whew. The infamous final season. I know a lot of people, I've gone over it many times, feel a certain way about this final season. I think you guys know me by now though. Like, I've given a lot of hot takes. Look at Peaky Blinders. I just wrapped up with that show also. Make sure you guys go check out that if you're watching that show. But yeah, I just wrapped up that show, my reactions to that. And then at the very end, it wasn't the very end, one of my favorite characters, one of my true loves in that show, Linda, I found out that it's a hot take that most people don't even like her. She's one of the most hated characters. I'm like, what? So yeah, it may come as no surprise that I kind of go against the grain sometimes. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but regardless, I form my own opinion. I think you guys know that if you've been following my channel by now. And honestly, shout out to all you guys, because 7 seasons deep, over a year now, I've been reacting to the show. I know it's slow, it's probably pissing off a lot of people, but apologies. It's a lot of work to edit these, like legit. It's a lot of work, and you got to think, what was this? Almost the 70th episode, 67th episode, something like that. So yeah, I've done a lot of these. It's a lot of work. I put in a lot of time for your guys' entertainment, but for mine as well, because I always wanted to see this show. I've always heard good things. I've seen a lot of these other big shows, but when it came to this show, I don't know, just for whatever reason, I wasn't sure if I would actually enjoy it, and it may be, well, I'll save that discussion for when I wrap up the entire series. But I was going to say, I think you guys know what I was going to say right then and there. This might be my favorite show of all time. It's definitely up there. I'm not willing to say just yet that it is my favorite show, because I do always have a passion for Breaking Bad and Dexter and The Sopranos, The Wire, and even The Walking Dead. I know a lot of people hate that show too, but yeah, these are just shows that I love. And they're top tier shows in my opinion. But yeah, we've made it to the final season now, guys. I don't know what to expect aside from war in a giant battle. I don't know the reasoning why people hate it so much, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I might like it. If season 7 is an indication of what to expect for season 8, then yeah, I'll say it right here, right now. I just may enjoy the final season. It may upset some people. Regardless, I'm going to tell the truth though. I'm not going to hold back, because I could just be, if I wanted more likes or whatnot, I could just be going with the popular opinion, being like, hey, yeah, I hate the final season too. It sucks, guys. Like and subscribe. But I don't know. I might actually like it, because I don't know the general consensus on season 7, but it was no secret. At least I didn't keep it under wraps. I freaking love season 7 of this show. It was like super rewarding for everything we've been through up until this point. Not only the characters, but for us as viewers watching the show and seeing all these power players, our remaining all-stars, come back together. It's like the all-star game. That's pretty much what it feels like now, because even though sometimes they're fighting a little bit against each other, like Cersei not staying true to her word. Oh my God. Who knows what she's going to do the final season too. Are we going to see the death of Cersei the final season? I'm not sure if that's actually going to go down or not, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm probably going to start it next week. I think by the time you guys are seeing this on YouTube, I'm already going to be done. So that's pretty crazy also, because I'm posting my YouTube reaction to the season 6 finale tomorrow. And now here we are, season 7 finale on Patreon. So yeah, crazy times, crazy things. I'm loving this show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my reaction to the finale. I think that's it from me. I don't really have anything else to say. I pretty much touched on all points there. We had a guest appearance from Ghost earlier on in the episode, so that was good too. I'm glad he appeared. They're probably starving. They're actually really good. I got to feed my kitties. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. As always, definitely let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys can like, subscribe, it really helps my channel grow. Till next time, I am out. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Well, I didn't smoke enough for you, didn't drink enough for you, wasn't full enough for you, wasn't good enough for you, damn. You play me like a yo-yo and shit. Well, I'm not the one to be yo-yoing with